Hey, what is up, everyone? Welcome to my E3 coverage. We are covering E3 all week. I've been covering E3 since the early days of the internet, since the early days of E3. Glad you could join me for 2016. We've been having a blast. Microsoft kicked it out of the park. I think they're definitely winning so far for press conference of the year of E3. I am going to be rating everything, the game of show, best press conference, giving everybody a rating. At the end of E3, I will actually be having a recap video of all the press conferences at once they're all live, and actually giving every single one a review. You definitely want to stay tuned for that. So far, Microsoft is up there. We got Sony tonight. We got Nintendo tomorrow. Let's talk about Ubisoft. It actually was not a bad press conference at all. Actually, the problems I had with it are pretty interesting. I'll actually go over that at the end of my highlights. As you can see here, we got quite a bit of notes here that I took for Ubisoft. And that's actually part of the problem that I had with this press conference. But we're going to talk about that in just a bit. So, opened up with the show with Queen. Dancing mascots. It was very silly. It was actually hilarious. But, like she said, hey, where can you go for this at a press conference? So Ubisoft's the only place. It was Just Dance 2017 or Just Dance 3. Giraffes, pandas, lions, they were going like this. Oh man, it was a happening party. I knocked over all my statues, all my amiibos. I was going like this. I was getting into it. I gotta admit, I was getting into it. I was cutting it up on Twitter how stupid it was, but I was dancing behind the scenes. I was dancing. After that, they actually did talk about Orlando and the horrific massacre and shootings, and I thought that was really nice that they actually took the time to mention that. That was really a class act on Ubisoft's part. I know a lot of E3 is doing the blood donations, so that's really, really good. Oh, and here's a highlight that I took from Just Dance 2017, coming this October, and the NX next year. X gon' give it to you, give it to you. X gon' give it to you, gon' give it. So the NX with their third-party support, that's good. I know the Ubisoft always supported the Wii with the Just Dance, so looks like no different on the NX. So pretty cool. Okay, so went right into Ghost Recon Wildlands. She said, last year we blew your fucking mind, she said. She's awesome. And she said it again here, and she said, we're going to blow your effing mind again. Trailer was being shown. Talks on stage. And I put in parentheses, laugh out loud, what if? What if we all took cocaine? That's pretty much what I got from it. It was actually kind of silly. But, yeah, it basically laid out the story. Showed gameplay. This game absolutely looks amazing. Okay, but as a soldier, you have to take down the Santa Blanca cartel and their leader, El Suano. Stunning graphics, I put. Again, what if you all took cocaine? Cocaine, one hell of a drug. Oh, what a stage shot. Oh, I had, like she said, only at Ubisoft, or Ubisoft. You decide how you say it. Largest open world game that they ever built. It is coming out March 7th, 2017. A lot of gameplay showing, I put. And they really did, and I think that they should have. Because I remember when I was first hearing about this game. I'm a big fan of Ghost Recon, by the way. Or any Tom Clancy game, really. And I always wanted to see more. I definitely think Ubisoft showed a lot of gameplay of games that people really wanted. So hats off to them. That was great to do at this press conference. They definitely did that with Ghost Recon. Another game they really did a really long segment was South Park, The Fractured But Whole. Trey Parker, Matt Stone took the stage. They showed a trailer. It was a really hilarious segment. What's going on in the Fractured Butthole? Talk about the next chapter since the last game. So they kind of told the story about how the Stick of Truth ended and how this continues. You're starting out as the new kid. They talk about the gay fish who loves fish sticks. Yeah, you gotta watch it, basically. It's a lot funnier if you were there. Pre-order the new game and play Stick of Truth and get it for free today. Actually, when you buy the game, you can get the game for free, but if you pre-order today, you can play the game today. So pretty cool that they're doing that. I noticed that's a big thing now. A lot of games are like, developers are like, oh, if you buy our new game, you get the last game for free. Kind of interesting. I noticed it's more and more been trending lately. But hey, that's a great way to get the community. That's a great way to get your new game to be pre-ordered, and that's a great way to get people that don't know too much about the franchise or haven't jumped into the franchise to get to play your game before the new one comes out. So by the time the new game comes out, which is December 6th, ooh, surprised by that, by the way. Wow. I guess because when the original South Park game, The Stick of Truth, was announced, it took like forever for that game to come out. And of course, we're seeing that it's released this year. So that's pretty cool. Kind of like how Watch Dogs 2 got announced. I was like, wow, because when the first Watch Dogs was announced, that seemed like forever. So we're definitely seeing a speed of release dates once games are announced, and that's really cool. I always make the comparison to Bethesda last year when they announced Fallout and then it came out later that year. So that's pretty cool. The Division, over 10 million players. New content is coming. An expansion, their first actual expansion is called Underground. It is coming out June 2nd. And he says it will keep getting better. For the anniversary, you're going to be getting free outfits for the Division. And they showed off outfits. I think there was 3. It was like one from Splinter Cell. Pretty cool. And then another expansion was hinted at. It's going to be first on Xbox One. They showed the trailer, and this expansion is called Survival Expansion 2. So that'll be following Underground. So that is pretty cool. Coming soon. They didn't give a release date for Survival, but they said it's coming soon. They did show a lot of gameplay of it. It actually looks really sick. Actually, one of the nicest things I've seen so far from The Division. So it's always good to get new content for an online game. They showed off Eagle Flight VR with the Oculus team. They had two teams playing against each other. It is a team-based VR game. It looks pretty cool. And I put in parentheses here, again, VR does not translate to the viewer. Of course it doesn't. I mean, VR is... I actually have a lot to say about this in this press conference, but VR does not translate. Of course, it's such a hard piece of tech to show on a game floor, on a game show, on a conference. You have to be literally using it yourself. You have to put the headset on. You have to play the game to experience it. Of course, they can only show you and tell you so much. But once you have that headset on, I mean, it's freaking phenomenal. I know the Oculus Rift is out. I know it's being demoed at certain Best Buys and HTC, and you can check it out. And when October comes, you can buy the PlayStation VR. I think once you try it, you'll know, like, wow, I see what the hype is about. But showing it off to an audience, it's not the same. But they did their best. I mean, you do what you can. I guess it's better than not talking about it at all. Is basically what I'm saying. Come to the booth to play it. It's coming to Oculus this fall. And the thing that I actually want to talk about here was, you're going to notice that there's a lot of VR talk at this press conference. Actually, the most VR talk so far. I'm sure we're going to hear a lot at Sony's. And I put in parentheses here, it says really great that they're talking about VR, because they're showing potential. They're showing what VR is capable of. They're trying to make it to the mainstream media, the mainstream audience. And I think that there's a lot of potential in VR, and it seems like Ubisoft is pushing that, and I commend them for that, because I think that's awesome. If you want something to be big, you got to get development for it. You got to get developers on board. It seems like they're doing that. They're really focused on VR, and they're trying to spread the word about VR, and I think that that's awesome for a new piece of technology. There's a lot of people on Twitter, try mass marketing this, and oh wow, fun, talking about VR. But they'll be the first to try it when it comes out. You know what I mean? Because the hype and the views. Then they started showing the cast of Star Trek and announced their new VR game. It is called Star Trek Bridge. What was really cool, and I put in parentheses, where's Captain Kirk? What's really cool is that LeVar Burton took the stage. Wow. It was awesome. He was in the segment talking about the game and his experiences with VR. And then he actually came on stage and was talking. and telling everybody how awesome it is and that it's like crazy wild and I'm sure it is. And that was pretty cool hearing from him. I'm a big fan. He's awesome. I remember reading Rainbow as a kid. Roots. And then he talked about the VR game. Talked about VR and the potential that VR has. Again, I think that's great that Ubisoft is pushing this. I'm excited for VR. And the HTC Vive is awesome. The Oculus Rift is awesome. And I cannot wait to get my hands on my PlayStation VR. I pre-ordered the bundle with the camera and the wands and everything, the motion controls. So I'm looking forward to that. I'll be day one testing that out on PlayStation. So yeah, I'm hoping that we hear more and more about the support for that. For Honor game trailer was shown. Looks good. Gameplay shown by game director. I put love it. It's coming out February 14th, 2017, Valentine's Day. I was very interested in For Honor last year when they showed it off. And every single time that I see this game, I get more and more pumped for it. They showed a really good, decent amount of in-game footage. Not cutscenes, no cinematics. They actually they showed that too, but in-game footage of actual people playing it. And I really, really think that this game is going to be sick when it comes out. I love that era of gaming, like that Skyrim-ish kind of gladiator type game with the armor and everything and the swords and shields. This game looks really sick. So I will definitely be checking that out. They talked about Grow Home, and there is a new one coming out in August called Grow Up. He is back. So that's cool. I actually like that game a lot. I believe that game was free for PlayStation Plus members a few months back. Trials of the Blood Dragon. 8-bit at its best, I put. Those of you know that have played the original Blood Dragon, this is the new game. It is out now. PC, PS4, and Xbox One. So definitely, if you're a fan of the original The Blood Dragon, definitely check out Trials of the Blood Dragon. Assassin's Creed takes the stage to talk about movie, and I just put boring in my opinion. This could have been left out of the press conference as far as I'm concerned. I mean, that's great. Assassin's Creed fans, the movie does look awesome. It's coming out December 21st, 2016, but the problem that I had with this press conference, to jump to the end here, was this press conference was too long. This press conference dragged out, and I would have gave this actually a better score, but I kind of took a couple points off, and I'll talk about that in my recap video at the end of E3 when I show what actual final score that I gave this press conference, but it would have been a little bit higher. I had to take off, honestly, because I think it just dragged out. I don't care even how good your press conference is. This dragged out a lot. I mean, this was way, way over. This was like, Christ, this was longer than like Microsoft's, like the big three, like Sony, Nintendo. This was one of the longest press conferences for a third party that I've ever seen. I mean, this was a long. I understand they had a lot to talk about, but I think that this would have been better if they took a lot of the silliness out. I mean, I would have rather seen the new Assassin's Creed, the game. So I think that this could have been left out. I think a lot of things could have been left out or at least shortened. This press conference was long. I mean, I felt like she kept coming out and saying, okay, we got one more game. Okay, we got one more game. Nothing bad about the press conference. I mean, it was a good showing. They did a fantastic job, but this was definitely over. It was too long, in my opinion. This is supposed to be my reactions, and I'm not the only one that thought this. There was a lot of people agreeing with me on Twitter. I tweeted it, and everybody's like, "Yeah, Sean, we agree." But that's my opinion. I almost was falling asleep. I couldn't believe it was still going on. It was funny, too, because somebody had tweeted, and they're like, oh, my God, this press conference is still going on? It could have definitely been shortened, and I think it would have been a lot better, and I think it would have held people's attention more. So, yeah, that was too long. Watch Dogs 2, we knew it was coming, and we knew they couldn't end the conference without talking about Watch Dogs. They showed a good amount of gameplay. It looked really good, extended gameplay shown. And I put in parentheses, talk about it being too long of a show. Not taken away from the games or anything shown, but too long. And Watch Dogs movie is in the works. It's being worked on. It's being talked about now. It was hinted, so There you go. DLC 30 days first on PlayStation 4 for Watch Dogs. Last game was shown. Very long show I put. New IP being showed called revealed as Steep. And I put in parentheses, looks like SSX, open world sports game. The first ever open world sports game set in the Alps. Game looks great. Actually looks fantastic. Been wanting a game like this for a very long time. Mixes skiing, snowboarding, wingsuits, and paragliding all in one. An open world game. Make your own trail. I am very interested. Comes out this year, September. December. Aside from the conference being way too long, I actually really like the way they ended it. I'm actually really, really interested in that game. It's just because it was at the end of the conference. The conference was so freaking long. I was like, oh my god, come on. I would have enjoyed the game reveal of Steep more if they would have had the conference a little shorter. I would have been able to concentrate on the game instead of falling asleep. I like this game. I've been wanting this game, and I put on Twitter. It was unexpected, but I wanted it, and I've been waiting for this for a long time. And it's funny. One of my dreams was of this E3 that a new SSX is announced because I absolutely love snowboarding games. So this game is gonna, I think, make me happy. And it's open world and it's got other stuff in it and skiing and whatnot. I mean, like, what game can you get that out of? And I was looking at the gameplay and I was reviewing it and writing things down on Twitter and saying, ooh, you know. And this game looks sick and this game looks fun, and I'm actually really excited for that game. Actually, to be honest with you, Steep may be one of my game of shows for new games revealed. I actually really like this game because I do, and it might not be for everybody, but I do like that kind of game, and I am a huge snowboarding fan and video games, and I think that this game looks insane, and I can't wait to get it. December's not too bad, I guess. I wish it was a little bit sooner, but if there's no delays, which that's another thing, who knows about these delays. I know everybody's all excited about these games being announced and that, oh, they're coming out this year. Yeah, if everything goes all right, like if there's no delays, you know. Look at all the games that came out this year that were supposed to come out last year, and now we've already got a lot of delays announced already for next year, so hopefully it comes out in December because Steep looks like it's a cool game, and I will definitely be checking it out firsthand here on Merry NJ08. Again, this was a good conference. This was a decent conference. It's definitely way better than EA's shit fest. I will be reviewing everything, giving everything a final review at the end of E3, and this will definitely rank up there. I just think I'm going to be taking a few points away because it was dragged out, and I don't think it needed to be. But there was a lot of information and a lot of gameplay shown, so that's good. They are one of my favorite software companies, so I'm definitely interested to see their games. Like I said, I would have loved to see footage of the new Assassin's Creed video game, then hear about the movie, or just mention the movie. Like, oh wait, you didn't have to get the guy on stage and talk about it and blah blah blah. You could have just did something else, or just cut that part out completely, in my opinion. You know, so we'll see. But there you go. That's my impressions of Ubisoft. Sure, it could have been better, but it wasn't bad. Definitely one of the better ones this year. Take care, everybody, and I will see you tonight and tomorrow for Sony and Nintendo. And then after all the press conferences, I will be reviewing them all and telling you about the best and worst of E3 this year. Take care, and I'll see you again soon. I still want to dance. I gotta get a big giraffe mask.